Welcome back to the studio for the second half of the painting of meadow flowers in complementary colors. I put this in here and then I air it up a little bit, just blowing into it. And that keeps the plastic off of the paint and it keeps the paint from drying. Anyway, that is the leavings of several paint lessons. And so that when I'm doing something like this, I don't have to put out extra paint. Normally, I won't put that on the student's palette. I'll put fresh paint on the student's palette, but sometimes gauging how much a student is going to use, I don't mind putting extra out. But if I have a couple, 3 students, and I'm constantly having to put out extra paint, it takes time, and that's what I don't have extra of. The paints that I'm using on this are the light green, the grass green, the yellow, the pink, the violet, and the blue and the brown. And now I'm going to bring the camera up and I'm going to let you watch some simple changes that I'm going to make from my own. For the details I'm going to be using a set of rounds, a point brush, and a small flat. I want the largest of these. For the most part, I like what's there. I just like for the yellow to be a little more pronounced. So I'm going to come in here and strengthen those yellow petals a little bit. This is completely dry now. Let the brush do as much of the work as you can. There's a reason why the shape is what it is. The reason I put the pink on it earlier was to separate it from the green a little bit. It wasn't because I wanted my flower to be pink in the end. But the pink, the pale pink, kind of separates it and makes it stand out from the green background. I don't mind some of the background coming through this. As I pull the brush away from the surface, it'll come back out to a smaller tip. I'm using lots of paint on my brush. I'm going to add another little bit of yellow right in there. What you're going to see is that is almost transparentized because of the character of the yellow paint. I'll have to get it on pretty thick to add that other petal. A little petal right in there that has the pink behind it. The lesson was about using opposites within a picture, which is the purple and the yellow. The pink and green also would be opposite on the color wheel, but since they are incidentals to the picture, we did not concentrate on the pink and green, simply on the yellow and purple. I'm more pleased with that now. This yellow is has just a little bit of a transparency to it. A lot of your lighter yellows do. They don't have the amount of saturation on the canvas, and therefore other colors can shine through them very easily. Now, I'm going to change out for a little smaller brush, and I'm going to do a technique that I like to do, and that is to put the pink on the brush and come and pick up a little purple with the pink, so that when I come in here and dot this, it's got a little bit of the light on the inside of it. And I'm just going to kind of come in there and brush between the pink and the purple to create the petals of my larkspur. Because it's got that pink down in there. It's one of my little girls asked me if she could think it was lavender. I said, you just go right ahead. As far as I'm concerned, it can be lavender for you. I guess she had seen lavender flowers and felt like this might work with the lavender flower. This one's got a little less pink than it probably ought to have, right? Especially up on the top. I can take this as far as I want to, or I can quit anytime I'm ready. When I'm doing this, I'm going to go ahead and scatter some of that around and then come back in here and scatter some of this purple in with that pink. After a couple weeks of building this paint up, it'll stay fresh for quite a while doing this way. After a couple weeks, it starts to get a little yucky in there, and I'll just scrape all that off, throw away what I haven't used. But a lot of times I'll try to come in and do a little bit of work on it if I can. I'm going to come in here and get a different green, a couple of greens, and bring a stalk down. On those, and then just get me a little bit of the dark green and the medium green. And just kind of work that in there for some foliage. Just not trying to draw foliage or anything. Pick up a little bit of this turquoise. Work into it. Because some of it's just a little too bold. I'm okay with it to a degree. Yeah. I'm not going to do away with everything I have there. And now I'm going to take a little pink and a little bit of this medium, if I can brush some up. And I'm going to come up here and brush this just a little bit side to side. A little bit of the turquoisey paint just here and there, just to send that back a little farther in the painting. Make my hillside just a little more what I want it to be. This and some of this. Just kind of work it in there just a little bit so that some of these places make a little more sense. Yeah. So I can work this to death, but I'm not going to. I'm going to pretty much stop here. Bring some of this yellow in there, up where the purples are, so this yellow down here isn't totally all by its lonesome. Yeah, I'm gonna like that. I just think some of that yellow can make some good activity. Then I can bring some of the purple down in here. Just little bits here and there that are going to make it See, like just like you have some foreground yellow, you're having a little bit of background purple down in here. Yeah. Just gives you a tiny slight bit of depth in my canvas sheet is getting real loose, so I'm going to stop. I'll put these up here together. You'll really be able to see the changes that I made a little more specifically. But you can see the slight changes that I made. They were very similar when I started. The reason this one is signed is because when my young students got finished, I always put the signature on it for them so that they will know that they should sign their work. And, you know, lead by example kind of thing. I'm going to get a very small round and I'm going to get some purple and some pink, and I'm going to put my signature right down here, I think. And there's my signature right there. Sometimes I put a date, sometimes I don't. Okay. I'll slip that back in there. Lay it down. Pull this across. Kind of try to hold that up while I pull it across. And as I start getting it over here, I'm going to fill it up with air. It'll keep that pretty fresh until I need to use it again. Thank you for joining me in the studio, and I hope you'll come again next time.